Good morning. Welcome to Unacceptable by Hubert Roberts.
Good morning, my queen and our beautiful technician. Before we get started, I definitely want to make sure that I do a shout out to A Day at the Lake. This is our event that is taking place June the 4th and June the 11th. Why is this important? So much is going on in our society, locally, internationally, and a lot of times we just focus on pain and suffering. A lot of times we as human beings, because we have been brought out of fear from our early ancestral being hunted like animals, so that fear gene is inside of us. For some reason, we gravitate towards the negative, almost like it's a badge of honor. What we're trying to do is celebrate the goodness and the wonderfulness and the amazing things about life. And fishing is an amazing tool, an amazing thing to get involved in for the whole family. Yeah. So A Day at the Lake is presented by MCAR, mcarflint.com. If you want to look this up, please look it up and go to my phone number, Brother Roberts. It's 810-394-4105. And then my email is mentorroberts@gmail.com. And I can give you some further information. One thing that we're really trying to do this year, because of the stratification of income and what people have been dealing with because of COVID, we are sacrificing. Meaning, we know that people have to have skin in the game, so we used to charge $25 per student. This year, everything is free. Everything is free, and everyone can come. I'm talking about from 2 days old all the way up to 2,000 years old, right? Men, women, and children. June the 4th, we do from 9 to 5 is training, which is 10 stations that you have to compete and complete. And then once you complete those stations, they consist of casting, gutting, identifying fish, respecting responsibility. Catering is going to be there with some robotics. We're going to have the DNR there. There are several stations you have to go through to be able to get your free fishing reel and tackle box. By completing your task of the 10 stations, this will allow you the following week, June the 11th, we will be riding a bus, and depending on how many people come out, if we're going to need 2 on-the-move buses, we're hoping to have 2 on-the-move buses, at least 100 people going. And again, everything is free, and we don't want our community not to value this because it's free. What we're trying to do to say that our community, we're sacrificing and asking other people to donate that has the means, but we're sacrificing to do something for our community, where we bringing our community together, where we having a different conversation through fishing, where we eating some good food, where we just spending some quiet time together, the whole family mingling and meeting new people. The first 3 prizes are bikes. First, second, and third prize are bikes. No one leaves there without a trophy. Everybody wins something. And again, I really want to encourage people that's listening and viewing this to share this information with other people, with your grandparents, with anyone in our community to be a part of this wonderful event. And again, the training is June the 4th from 9 to 5. Breakfast will be served. The following week after the training is June the 11th. We will go to Shea Lake. It's 65 miles from Flint. It is the sister to Idlewild. Shea Lake is the sister to Idlewild. If anyone remember Idlewild as a black resort, Shea Lake was a black resort, part of the Chitlin Circuit back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And when things were segregated, this was a resort in this area where a lot of local people from Detroit area congregated as opposed to going up to Idlewild, because a lot of people in Idlewild were from Chicago and Wisconsin back in the day. That's some little history for you guys. So again, if you need to reach out to me for any logistics, there's no excuse. If we need to come, we have a bus, a little mini bus. If we need to pick some children up, we will do that. We will do chaperone. We got some wonderful volunteers, and we're asking our men and women, some of you guys that are seasoned, please come out and value this program, value our children, and I want you guys to think about this. We complain so much about city council, about things. But this is something we all can get behind. This has nothing to do with no mess. This is all about doing something that can really be an impact for the summer. And we do have individuals that come back every year. Before COVID happened, we had some young men that had went to college and has come back every year to support this effort. So again, Day at the Lake, June the 4th and June the 11th. If you need to contact me, again, I'm mentorroberts@gmail.com. My number is 810-394-4105. That was a PSA from your beautiful, beautiful brother. You see I'm rocking my, I'm rocking?
I
Can
love
you
it.
get to it?
I love it.
Let me get the profile.
I love it. You look so distinguished. I love it.
And then I got my collar flopping.
Boy, I'm telling you, Dapper Dan don't have nothing on you.
Yeah, it's amazing, turning 66. I was doing some introspection about myself, right? And so, I never had an issue with hair. I remember my hair started dissipating when I was about 16 years old, right? And so, it started leaving me a little bit, right? And I remember I was playing sports, and one of my coaches, we was in the locker room, and, bantering as boys do and men do, right?
Yeah.
And hair came up. And one of the coaches said, as long as you working up, don't worry about your hair, right? So that kind of, helped me a little bit as I transitioned with the no hair, right?
Yeah.
So me today, I have been concerned as I went to Miss Newman to the barber college, and Jeremy has been doing my face, and he told me I have been kind of keeping it short because it looked kind of crazy, right? He said, let it grow out, and then it won't be so spotty, right?
Yeah.
And then he's going to help train it where it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Black men hair grows back in, right?
Yep.
And so he showed me some techniques as far as, brushing it. And,
yeah.
And so I've been working on it, putting some oil on it, some African oil on it, Yeah. So holla,
I love it. I love it. It looks so distinguished. I love it.
Well, thank you, my sister. You encouraging me to continue to rock it, right?
I think you should. I honestly think you should. It looks so nice. I love it. I love it.
Hey, some of the grandkids hadn't seen me in a while, right? Mm. And they were looking at me like, Granddad? Is that Granddad? It's amazing how different things can affect the visual of what people perceive of you. I mean, they knew my voice, but the features.
But you know what? To be totally honest with you, it dropped you a little bit. It make you look a little younger.
Wow, well that's even better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, my sister. You're encouraging me even more. Well, thank you so much.
I think you should wholeheartedly embrace it and rock it.
All right then. So starting off, I'd like to know, give me a little update. How are you doing? How are your spirits? Have you got a chance to hug a tree? How is your family members? Just how are you feeling about life in general? A lot of times we don't ask those questions about one another. And I
Absolutely.
like to take this opportunity, Queen, to just connect with you on that level. And then what I would like to do is I'm going to send you. I've got these on text message,
Oh,
and I want
please.
to make sure that you text them out to Queen Nicole and what's the secretary name?
Valerie.
Valerie. Make sure all of them at least get a text of this flyer for me. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you and make sure you get it out to them for me.
Absolutely will. And I will be sending it out to a bunch of everybody else. And I'll make sure that everybody says. And just so you know, I will be in attendance for
Thank
that.
you so much.
I will
Thank
be.
you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. Yes. So, how am I? I am great. I am. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. You can't hear me? Mick, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mick?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh-oh, Brother Roberts can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Brother Robert? Can you hear me? He may have to go out and come back in. If somebody might have called him. Um, Mickey probably has to go out and come back
Kick
in.
him out and tell him come back. Can you hear me, Brother Roberts? Let me tell him go out and come back in.
Okay. Because someone may be calling his phone and knocked him off.
I'm finna call him.
Girl,
Oh, hey, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Okay, he's
He
going.
just went out. He about to come back in.
It's okay. Good morning, John. How are you? Good morning, Kathleen. Peace, God, to Jaleel. How are you all this morning? It's a beautiful day. It's supposed to rain, but I guess that's okay. We got to take some rain with the sunshine, right? Hello, Miss Belinda Love. Good morning. How are you all? Jasmine Woodrina. Good morning. Sherry Handley. Good morning. Ida Johnson. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. How y'all feeling? Waiting on Brother Roberts to get back in and tell me how he's doing. How y'all feel about last night? Did y'all watch last night with Mr. Mays? Or we'll just wait for him to come back. John, doing great. My daughter is getting married today. Congratulations! Congratulations to her and congratulations to you. That's exciting. Very busy day, but a great busy day. Aw, I'm excited for you all. I know she's gonna look beautiful. You should share some.
hello,
810. Hey, you back? Can you hear me now?
hello,
Can you hear me?
Nick.
I can hear you, Brother Roberts. You can't hear us.
Nick,
You tell him we hear him.
I can hear you.
Nick.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Hold on. I'm finna call his phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Tell him we can hear him. Yes.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm finna call him. Yes. I'm texting him right now. Yes, we can hear you.
Last night was informative. Got to go back and watch. Okay. Kathleen said, yes, it was a good show.
You want me to go out and come back in?
Yes.
Jaleel says, we are preparing for war with Hurley and any other platforms that are not doing right by the John Flemings and Kiera Howes. Absolutely. Absolutely. What is it that, Jaleel, what is it that you all are doing or what are some things that
So just keep talking.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you guys.
Hmm.
Well, anyway, they told me to keep talking.
Okay, well let it talk.
Okay, my sister, you were sharing how you doing?
I'm doing great. I did not get a chance to hug a tree. However, I have been outside. I have been outside in nature. I do what is called grounding. I don't know, for some people that don't know, it's just getting close to nature, getting close out your shoes on. And so I go out and I am in the yard and I'm in the grass with my shoes off and I sit and I meditate, just take some time for myself and just enjoy life and breathing in and breathing out and just enjoying everything, right? This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I am very, very, very active in that and making sure that I let everybody know that it is Mental Health Awareness Month, but also not just with the month, but every day we need to be cognizant of those things. Um,
Can you see me now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
There
great.
you go. I'm out.
Okay, so I was telling them that I did not get a chance to hug a tree. However, I have been grounding. So I've been outside, without my shoes and walking through the yard and talking and just meditating. So I sit out and I sit and I meditate, in the yard, in the grass, doing a lot of grounding work, right? This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I've been very, very active in speaking out about it, as I do every day, but even more this month, just to make people aware of some things. I've been sharing that at Rising Star Baptist Church, Reverend Deontay Powell has opened up his doors on Saturdays for mental health, free of charge. So I've been encouraging everybody, if they have some things going on with them and they need to work some things out and they need to get their mental right, that he has opened the doors on Saturday for them to do that. That is 502 West Flint Park Avenue. I just been really staying centered and being present. I think a lot of times
Okay.
we are not present enough. So I've just been being present. And yeah, I'm doing great.
Well,
And,
that's wonderful. And that's really wonderful to hear. I love what you said about being present. I
mhm,
think that has to be like a start off or a kickoff for a real conversation that we can kind of have. And again, I want to preference this by this. I know most of us can continue to go down this rabbit hole about complaining.
yeah.
And why do I stress hugging a tree and taking your shoes off? Because it is an act. If you are intentionally engaging in a process, then that's something you commit to. You have to formulate it in your mind. It may sound silly, but it's a part of a puzzle when we talk about reclaiming our humanity.
Mm-hmm.
If we slow it down, like in the Matrix, when you seen that scene where we going back like this, and that's how you do in life, right? You're missing the arrows and all these things that are thrown at us,
Mm-hmm.
especially with being traumatized as Black people.
Yeah.
One thing that we, in the process of hugging, and I love what you're saying about being present on the ground, embracing nature, spending time, quiet time with nature,
Mm-hmm.
where you are not on the phone, you're not listening to any music, you are really in the presence of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, really something that we need as a people, because that's where we come from. We come from the universe, sister.
Yeah.
We are universal.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm calling and promoting is for us is to find our path back to our universal connection. And we have to be intentional about it. If before we talked about some time ago, you and I and others talked about how do we give each other's flowers now?
Yeah.
Because of the insanity that's around us. And even if you think about it, there's scripture. Lot and his wife. Now, God, or for you guys to interpret it like this, the Spirit say Get up out of there, don't look back.
Mm-hmm.
Many times we have become so hard-headed, we got to look back.
We turn into a
And
pillar.
so our conversation today, I'm hoping it can be centered around hope, prosperity, dignity, and love.
Okay, I like it.
And what that really looks like, because let's be intentional. If you see or a family member, this is to the audience, anyone in your family that you are not speaking to, call them up right now. Apologize. An old friend, an old lover, an ex-wife or ex-husband, even children, brothers and sisters. Let's reconnect to our universal love and get outside of our Maybach and our Gucci belts and this false illusion of success. You know, one thing that's crippling us in this city that is very, very, very disappointing is those athletes that have made it had a clear responsibility to fund all of the programs, all of the stores. Right now, there's a store on Fleming and Pearson Road. The guy want to sell. He do not want to sell to no white people. $500,000 liquor license. He wants to sell to somebody black. It's a gas station and a store.
Okay.
If anybody know anybody that can partnership and get some money together, he wants to sell to a specifically black group that will be willing to come in, buy him out, liquor license and all, and remodel that store and re-envision that store into the 24th century. Now, I got this firsthand. That's what he wants to do. Those opportunities, he's ready to retire and go back to his native land. He done made bank in our community. Can't hate on that, but he specifically want to sell to a black person. So if anybody listening to this, please reach out to a group of black people that may be in your suburb or want to be white, that want to help the black community by owning a black gas station and store. That could be the start of our Black Wall Street. So I'm putting that out there too. Go ahead, sister.
Oh, no, that's great information. I'm going to have to. I'm on it. Got it. Right in my mental text. But, okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I love that what you said about hope, prosperity, dignity, and love. Those are great, great, great words that we need to keep spewing out. And not only do we need to spew out, but we need to make sure that we are embodying them. And we need to make sure that we are not only saying them, but we are putting those things into action. And that's what you want to talk about, right? Putting those things into action.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
And part of putting it into action, I had a chance to experience Eid al-Fitr with Nation of Islam the other day. And again, they were preparing. I had some family members coming in. I couldn't stay long. But I just love the camaraderie, the sense of family and unity. And it's those things that we can extrapolate and embrace from one another, that we share and partake in. See, when we talk about hope, prosperity, dignity, and love, all that is action. Mm-hmm. And so what I want our community and those listening is our thinking. So let's try to work on, just because you can say it and it's demeaning, don't do it.
Right.
Just because you can hurt somebody with your words or with your actions, don't do it. See, I'm putting a charge out there, y'all. Let's stop hurting one another.
Yes.
Let's don't reinvent Will Smith pain. We understand we've been traumatized for 500 years. Yes. But what we can flip it, guys, is we each as you just said, Brother Powell opening up the door for mental awareness and mental wholeness. That can act out every day as we cross one another in our walk and in our talk. We don't necessarily have to go to a room, because this can start in a room, but just like with this so-called white Jesus, if you understand the philosophy of goodness, it's not in a box. Goodness has to come from your heart.
Absolutely.
And goodness is coming from your heart. That means when someone says something crass or negative about another person, stop it. I don't want to hear it. And I'm saying to you, Queen, a lot of times when me and you engage in conversation, we very rarely get involved in any kind of tit for tat, talking about knack, all that. It's always, you always inspire me. You feed me. You excite me when I give you information. You do homework.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get me doing something else. You know what I mean? And that's what life should be about.
Absolutely.
How we can encourage one another and then challenge each other to learn more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think that, which, like you said, it doesn't have to necessarily be in a room, but it can start at a room, but it needs to branch out, right? And it can be something as simple as when you're passing by somebody, just give them a smile. You never know how much that will brighten somebody's day just by a smile, or just by saying, hey, hello, how are you? Have a good day. Something that tiny, that minuscule, that you might think is very minuscule may mean the entire world to somebody else, because they may have not been spoken to in 2 days or not been acknowledged in a week. You have no idea how something that minuscule can mean the world to somebody else. And it can start just by doing those small little things like that. And those small things turn into big things, because that smile can turn into a hello. That hello turns into a how are you? That how are you turns into I'm great. How are you? That I'm great. How are you turns into, well, such and such happened and this happened. And I'm glad you said that. And hey, I would just like to let you know that those glasses look so nice on you, brother. Or that bit. Whoa, you did something new with your beard. I love it. It's those small things like that that can inspire somebody, that can uplift somebody, that can give them something that they need, that maybe they can hold on to for the remainder of the week. You have no idea how much that will boost somebody's morale, mentality, and just overall feeling every day. And it's that small. And those are the things that we need to start doing. And I want to go a step further with that, with not just people that are our age, but that's what we have to start doing with the younger people too, because we're not acknowledging them when we see them. And that's why they acknowledge us when they see us. When we see them, we don't say, hey, young man, how are you? Hey, young lady, how are you? We don't do that. We don't do that. And that is a problem. And we want to know why they don't respect us and why they don't acknowledge us, is because we don't do that for them. We have to be the change that we want to see. We have to do these things that we want them to do too. We can't just talk about it and demand these things from them when we're not giving them to them. And that's the same thing that I said to council. How are we expecting them to not bicker, argue, and fight when we're asking them to watch these things and be involved, and this is what they see? They can't even see 9 people get along together, let alone the world.
Come on.
Come on. Better. We are showing them how to be dysfunctional. It's insane, because we are showing them how to be dysfunctional. And I'm asking them to watch and do these things. But now I feel like I'm asking them to watch the prototype of being dysfunctional.
You know, and when you say it like that, I think, as you articulated, as far as what our young people visually see and what they are accustomed to, and you think about patterns, how patterns become habits. And a lot of times, especially in the work that I do with the mentoring piece, You know, I can really tell you that many of the young men we deal with have been feminized because of the abundance of women in their lives that they really haven't had interaction with men, right? And so in their discourse, conversation, even when you think about debating a subject, it becomes this animated action, but based on what they see at home from their mom. And I'm not saying anything negative about moms.
Right.
What I am saying is, you are right. What our children are witnessing with Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, the city council, the state government, the national government, the senators, the congressmen, Elon Musk, these greedy billionaires, it is appalling the messages that our children are receiving, and we as gatekeepers, I think more so than anything, Queen, we're not doing our due diligence, because there's something locally that all these pastors can come together and lock this city down, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
They could really do something, sister. They could step up and really put some brakes on some stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they need to, because they were. I remember coming up as a young lady when I was smaller. All of these churches were doing big things. They had the seats were packed. They had all kind of programs. They had everything going on. Like there was nothing that the church wasn't involved in. They had their hands in everything to make sure that our communities were community. And we're not doing that anymore. The ball got dropped, and we are not picking it back up. And we need to. We absolutely need to. It is so important for us to do that. And I think even more than that, we got to start holding them accountable for not doing that and not being around. So we have to go to those leaders of the church and those people that run it and say, hey, we need these programs back. We need them to start back up. Yes, it may start small, but we need them to start back. So we have to make sure that we're holding the pastors accountable to these churches and say, hey, we got to get it back. We got to get this back. We got to get the young people back in their right mind frame. We have to do that. And I think that those are some of the things that they need to do. I remember going through and learning etiquette, how to set a table.
Right.
You set a table properly.
Right.
I decorated a baby shower, and she said I want it to look real nice and real elegant. I said, you want me to set the table, do a place setting at each? And I did, and they were amazed that I could do a place setting. But those are the things that we learned how to do. You learn etiquette. You learn proper etiquette by not putting your elbows on the table, sitting up straight, right?
Right.
Not doing all these things. If you put your hands on the table, but not your elbows and not your arms, you now lean up and you sit up straight. That's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we are doing those type of things. We're not even teaching children how to sew on a button.
Right.
It comes off.
Right.
They'll throw it away before they fix it. It's so easy. We get back to doing small little things. And those are the things that the churches can do, because you already have a platform. You already have the resources. You're already a nonprofit. So why not add something to make a gumbo? Add another ingredient to the pot. That's what do.
And when you say that, and really, and how you codify that is, that's what they used to do, sister.
Yeah.
Now you think about that. Everything you just said started, even colleges and universities started in the church, sister.
Yeah.
Everything you just said about basic reading and math started in churches or little houses with a fireplace in the middle or a stove in the middle, when we didn't have no Wi-Fi, no phone or nothing. Everybody was glued because they were working to get educated, right? They knew that education was the key, right? And so back to what you're saying, we got to stop waiting for somebody to give us a hand down. It's not going to happen. We got the resources. One thing that we have, sister, we have the resources. And then those individuals that left the city, and we need to call a spade what a spade is. We have so much brain thrust when you talk about the talented 10 of those individuals that have made it have left the city. And then they demonize the city. And then it's the city's fault because there's no revenue in the city. And when you talk about what is an asset and what is a liability, you understand that clearly with the job that you have at General Motors. What is an asset? Absolutely. What is a liability? We can flip this around because our community can be an asset when we look at each other as an asset.
Absolutely.
As you just said, everything from tying a shoe to speaking to enunciation, pronunciation, every aspect of life must relate around a collective where we are coming back to our original, as I started off with our conversation, getting back to our universal self, because when we were segregated, we had it going on. Sister, when we were segregated, we had it going on because we had to rely on one another. Now we want to act white. Don't get me started.
I agree. When you saying that everything started in the church, I did when I first started tutoring, I did it at church. They wanted some younger people to teach the smaller ones, and I was helping kindergartners learn how to read.
See?
Learn how to write. That was one of my very first jobs of what we did. And so I think that that's the thing that we need to do. And we need to make sure that we're getting them involved as well. So then we take those high schoolers to tutor the elementary, right?
Yes.
The junior high to tutor the preschoolers, right? It's just those things that we can do because the junior high will remember more than the high schoolers, right, of what happened in preschool. So you take those 7th and 8th graders and you let them mentor the pre-K and the kindergartners and the first graders. You let the high schoolers do the junior high. That's how we do it, and that's how we build. And so now they're learning social skills, right? They're making new friends. They're learning how to do their work better. They're learning different ways of doing things because everybody doesn't do it the same, right? And then now they're learning all these different things. And so all of that's going to help in life because now you're giving them those tools. And so now when they get older, now when they become junior high, they can teach the younger ones, right? And it's just that thing, each one teach one. It's really, and even though, and it sounds so simple, and this is what is so crazy is because all of these things sound so simple, but those simple things are the things that work and they make the biggest impact. And that's what we need to do, because if we stop trying to make it so complicated, stop trying to make it so hard and make it like this big old thing and using all these big old words to do it, when in all actuality, all we have to do is sit our asses down and do it.
That's all.
So,
I love it. And like you say, it's not rocket science. And you would think that how simple that is. Mm-hmm. We as Black people, again, have bought into, and we must acknowledge this, we have bought into a lie. Number one, we have bought into the lie that we are devalued, underestimated, and marginalized. We have bought into this value, this mindset that we have no worth. And when you said about our children and how early that socialization is, because when you understand socialization, it starts immediately in a family. Yeah. As you just said, with siblings in a family and cousins and play cousins, we on the same block, right? Or we in the same hood. It's that kind of socialization that takes place because, and I go back to this, when we were segregated, it was clear. There was some defined lines. Why do I keep bringing that up? We are more segregated today than we were ever was in 1863. Now that's saying something.
Yeah.
We are more segregated today in America than in 1863. That's saying something, sister.
Yes, it
And a
is.
lot of times we as black people, we are in such an illusion of inclusion. Because I go back to the athletes and I go back to these people. We have to hold one another accountable. How is it possible to have a car that costs $1.5 million, Floyd Mayweather, and black communities across the country are in despair? Yes, we got to start calling these athletes. We got to start call black people out, because you cannot say that I've made it and I'm good. That ain't go. We can't let that fly no more, sister. That's another thing we got to have a conversation about. I don't mean to pivot, but that's got to be included in the conversation, because accountability, back in the day, those ministers, many of them were not theologically trained, but they had a calling before they were corrupted with this greed and this privilege and the tweaking of the government to trick them, because the government tricked them.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
The government tricked them, man. Because when we go back to what you said, going back to the roots to understand how did this happen? We must understand how it happened so we can go back. A lot of times people say, I don't want to go back. That was old. Right now, I was trying to help my great-granddaughter do math. It's crazy. I'm doing it the short way like I learned it. She talking about, Granddad, that's wrong. How you going to do math the long way, Queen? I got confused.
Absolutely, you did. I talk about this all the time. They call it new math, and the new math is insane. It is.
Insane.
1 + 1 is 2. I don't care how you spin it. It should not take me 15 minutes to write a novel about how 1 + 1 is 2. And so that's the mentality that we have about how we're going to move things forward. We want to do long math instead of simple math. It's the same mentality we have about how we're trying to move things forward. We want to do it long math. We want to take 17,000 hours to figure it out, this plan, when all we got to do is just do it.
Right.
We never really had a plan for real. We just said, hey, you know what? These kids not learning nothing. White people don't want us to read. White people don't know nothing. You know, Brother Roberts learned how to read in there when that lady taught Brother Roberts how to read. He know how to read. I bet you he'll teach us how to read. Let's go to Brother Roberts. Hey, Brother Roberts, that lady taught you how to read. We gonna get 5 kids together, and after we finish doing everything we do, we gonna meet over there, and we gonna sit there and we gonna teach these kids how to read. And while you teaching them, I'ma listen so I know how to read, and then I can do it. And then while you doing it in this room, once I learned, then I'ma do it in this room. All right, ready, set, go. Boom. And that's how it was. And that's exactly what they did. And I don't understand why we don't have those conversations. We do that. Because that's exactly what we need to do. We can't keep doing long math. We can't keep doing new math. I don't give a shit about the new math, because the old math works just fine. And that's what we need to go back to the old math. And we need to apply old math into this new time right now. And that's how we continue to move forward. We got to do the old math. We got to do the old math.
I love that. You know, that would be an awesome t-shirt. You know, a slogan on a t-shirt, we need to do the old math. I like that. I might have to incorporate that. And I'm going to give you credit for it, sister.
I appreciate you.
But it's those things that must be articulated, and we must find a way. How can we get on these media platforms, meaning Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat? See, there needs to be a push for healing. There needs to be a national push in our community for unadulterated healing. That means those Clarence Thomas need to be held accountable. those individuals that are doing the work, Claude Anderson and the like, need to be celebrated. And then those that are crippled need to be repaired. And see, that should be our mantra moving forward as far as on every platform, whenever we have an opportunity to speak in any place, we need to start off with healing. What does healing look like? And then we need to work on being the epitome of that, but not compromising our blackness. I'm not ashamed to be black. Absolutely. I'm not playing that card. Absolutely. I'm not playing that card, sister. Absolutely. I'm not doing it. The other day, I was with my family, I had on a shirt down in Detroit. The shirt said, white people created racism, and racism is a disease, right? I ain't playing. I went to Mexican Town. Have you ever been to Mexican Town down in Detroit?
Yes.
How did they get a Mexican town and Claude Anderson couldn't get a black town? How that work, sister? Well, I went to Corktown.
Frankenmuth is Germantown.
Holla. How that work?
Whole city
and
is Germantown.
Claude Anderson, the vote went to the city council, and the city council of Detroit shot it down, talking about Claude Anderson was being racist. Our own people now.
It be our own people every time. It's always our own people every time. We have that same problem on council right now. We can't get a grocery store passed. We can't get anything passed in the really black wards. But we can fix Miller Road. We can put a state park downtown.
Listen, we need to call what a spade is. Yeah. Those city council members are established volunteer agents. They have been sent there to destroy our community. They are not there, and we need to call everyone, the black ones that Murphy, if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for you and Jaleel at the Powell's church, I was gonna get ugly. But all the respect for you guys, I was gonna lay hands on my brother, right? Because my brother just don't get it, right? So laying hands on somebody sometimes is an act of universal love, right? And so sometimes hands has to be massaged a little bit to encourage you to be motivated. But because my brother, I respect Jaleel and Alan Bay and you, my sister, and I didn't want to respect your man there, I didn't want you, to tell your man that this brother here, I look up to this brother, and I apologize for him, I didn't know he was going to come out acting like this. So thank you for being there, because
anytime. Listen, I wholeheartedly agree that there are agents that are pushing the white agenda, and we do have to call that out. And the thing about it is that what I don't understand is how you forget that you're black. And I say this all the time, and I say this as many times and I'm going to continue to say this. And you are black. You can push that white agenda all you want to. And just as soon as they're done with you pushing that white agenda, because they're done, or you get a little too big for your britches, forgetting that you're black, they are going to remind you that you are a nigger. I'm not censoring the N word because they're not going to censor it when they let you know. So I'm trying to tell you to help you, to educate you. They're going to tell you to help you and to educate you as well. But it's going to hurt you way more coming from them because you thought you were them. That's your problem right there. You need to remember who exactly you are. And you're black. before you anything, and they are going to remind you of that. So don't get it twisted, and don't think you getting so big and you high and mighty just because you live in Grand Blanc or you live in Flushing or you live in Clio, because they allow you to do that. They allow you to do that. Understand that they allow you in these places, and when they feel like you're not doing what they need you to do, they are going to revoke that allowance, and they're going to disallow you to be there, and they're going to remind you that you are a nigger and you don't belong here where we belong. Please remember that. And Councilman Murphy, I am here to tell you, sir, that you can continue to say that racism is not an issue, and racism is not an issue on that council board, but Miss Eva Worthing with her ghetto remark, as well as some of them other ones that say little slice things under there. And just like Miss Judy Priestley saying that she dated a colored person. Listen, if you're going to continue to allow that madness, that's exactly what you're going to get. I'm not allowing it. And there is no way on God's green earth, and as long as I am black and proud, and am I ever going to forget that I'm black, or going to allow somebody to not know that I am black and I am proud to be black. I wouldn't want it any other way. I thank God every day for making me the exact shade of black that I am. You have to understand that it's an issue. It's an issue. And if you don't want to see it because you continue to push that agenda, or because somebody is asking you to push that agenda to line your little pockets or whatever it's for, let me tell you something. What don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse, and it's going to come back full circle. And if you are doing that at the plight of your people, please understand that it'll come back tenfold to you. I ain't got to put my hands on you. I don't, because the universe will handle that just fine. God don't do that. God don't like that. And if you think that other people are going to continue to allow that, you are crazy as hell. You're black, sir. And they're going to continue to tell you that you're black. And you continue to think that you are bigger than you being black, they're going to remind you different. You are never bigger than being black. Flat out, you are never bigger than being black. And they're going to remind you. And the first time they call you a nigga, I don't want to hear you coming to councils talking about, I want to put a motion on the floor for this, and that. Or I don't want to see you coming on no news station or no podcast. And please don't bring your ass to me want to come on my podcast talking about somebody that called you a nigga. Because guess what I'm going to tell you? That's what the fuck you get, because I told you a long time ago. You had an opportunity to correct that, and you didn't. And you didn't. That's your fault. Correct it. You correct it. I'm not correcting shit for you. You got to correct that. And if you don't correct it, then it's going to be, you're going to be bought and sold in 2022. Shoot. I'm sorry, Brother Roberts. I went on a rant.
No,
I'm sorry.
No. Hey, it needed to be said. And I echoed everything you said, because in the collective, understanding history, and when you really realize history, just like with Frederick Douglass, Nat Turner, when you understand Fannie Lou Hamer, where Fannie Lou Hamer was beaten by 2 black police officers that were told to beat this black woman for her standing up for voting rights by a white captain. So when you talk about our people, and me and you and those people that look like us, that want to align themselves with the enemy, and I differ with you, because I do believe, as with the Panthers, some people have to go. Because when you think about a disease, you know, a lot of times when they deal with a pathogen like cancer has to be eradicated.
Yeah.
We have cancers in our midst.
You're right.
We have cancer cells in our community.
You're right.
We have cancers, men and women, that are affecting our livelihood as black people in America.
You're
and
right.
They are intentionally doing the work of the enemy. And how dare that sheriff in Georgia allow them officers to board that bus? How dare a sheriff put his hands down a woman's blouse and grab her breast and the man that witnessed Hatchet didn't kill that man. That pissed me off. Talking about black. He was black. He was a sheriff. Come on, sister. Had that been you and me there, oh, holla, 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 holla. I be looking for those opportunities.
I know that's right.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Absolutely.
And you know what? And no council member should be able to go out in public in this community and not be vilified, not be castrated, not be told to leave. I mean, if they go to a grocery store, people should get in their face and ask them to get out of here. People should boycott them wherever they go. These people should be made to feel they are not wanted in our community. That's what needs to happen.
Absolutely, because they're making us feel like we're not wanted. They're not doing anything to feel like we're wanted.
And that's part of love. When we talk about our conversation, was talking about universal healing. When you identify a problem, you got to get that, eradicate that problem. So these people are a problem, and eradicating the problem is healing the collective.
Absolutely.
These people not to support. How are you not going to support a store? How are you not going to support the North End store, sister?
Right.
That's insane. But you can support cannabis dispensary, Miller Road, million. You can give $16 million to Land Crooked Bank. Land Crooked Bank.
Yeah.
No. It's time out for playing.
Absolutely.
We got to be able to, we got to love and hug with a firm hand.
Tough love, right?
Tough love, sister.
Tough love.
Tough love comes.
We definitely be on that. And I continue to call that out. And I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to continue to say these things. I'm going to continue to do it. Because it's going to be, it has to be said. And it's like you said, it's tough love. I'm going to be that I used to say gentle reminder, because I used to be a little gentle with the reminders, but it's not a gentle reminder anymore. It's a hard reminder.
Hard
reminder.
Hard.
It's a hard reminder that you are black. It's a hard reminder that you're going to always be black. It's a hard reminder. And we need to harshly and hardly remind these people that they are. And with that being said, we still have to unify and we have to come together. So we have to hardly remind these people that we got to unify and we got to come together. And we have to do these things for ourselves. I'm not demanding. I'm not begging anybody for anything. I'm not going to beg and we should not have to. We never had to before. We always made it do what it do.
Right.
That's the type of people that we are. Black people gonna make a way and they gonna find a way. Hey, listen. So y'all, listen to the listeners and everybody. Y'all know y'all can say, figure out something that's broken. Y'all say, hey, I'm a nigga rig it. Right? That's always been a thing of people say I'm a nigga rig it. Because black folks gonna figure it out. I don't care. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. So we're gonna have to nigga rig our whole community. We're gonna have to nigga rig all of these things that we want to get done. We're gonna have to nigga rig it all. So we start nigga rigging our whole community. We're gonna have to start nigga rigging our mind. We're gonna have to start nigga rigging everything to get it exactly where we need to get it.
Hey, Queen, that's another t-shirt. You man. I'm gonna be bouncing out with these t-shirts. They gonna be looking like me. Hey man, my queen photographer, she came up with that. Nigga rigged the community. Oh Lord, have mercy. You are fantastic. You on the road? Hey, look, you on the road today, sister? Oh, you must have slept good last night.
I missed you.
Did you have your AC on last night?
I turned. Nikki came over yesterday. Yeah, I slept really good.
Hey, I love that analogy concerning around the real McCoy, and I think it's so apropos when we think about how this is really structured, because I love the fact that over the past 7 years, we haven't stopped greeting the students at 6 schools individually every Monday of the month, right?
Yeah.
Now it's just down to about 6 individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time when we say, what can we do? So there's a platform that we and those that are listening, if you really want to come out and make an impact, come and greet the students with us. If you can't move the mountain, come and greet a child. Just say, hi, I love you. I'm proud of you. You're going to do great and wonderful things. Many of our children are never told that they are loved, appreciated, and cared about.
Yeah.
Many of our children never feel someone look upon them with kind eyes,
Yeah.
and with a kind heart, and with a kind gesture. We don't holler at them. We play with them. Last other Monday, I was telling the young ladies that they had to give me a piece of their hair because most of the men don't have no hair, and the girls, they just love that, you know. And so I'm saying to our community, there are simple things like you said earlier, Satara. Simple things. Let's get back to simple. It's no rocket science.
Absolutely.
What is our asset? The biggest asset we all have is ourselves. Start with yourself. What can you do individually? Can you tutor the next door neighbor in math or something that you are good in? How about, like my queen said, proper etiquette? How about understanding a little boy, understanding about bathing and his hygiene? Many of our young ladies are not about taking care of their bodies.
Absolutely.
Because you got these crazy mothers. How do you be a mother and not tell a young lady about menstrual cycle? That word.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about what's going on in our community that we can do together. Like the sister said, nigger rigging. I hate using that word. That word is appalling to me. But I'm going to work on that. And then we are mentoring. We are mentoring Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We are at 3 schools, guys. We don't get a dime. We don't get a dime to greet and don't get a dime to mentor. And a lot of times, you guys that are retired, you guys that may be on your second or third career, or you guys that may know someone, please have them reach out to me. I can guide them in some simple things if they really want to do something simple. And one thing before we get off the air, I'm hoping that we all can work on reaching out to these pastors. We need to have a real conversation with these pastors, all of them in one room. So, Tara, that's got to be one of our dues for the summer. We need to get all these pastors on board.
Okay.
And we need to tell them, check your God at the closet, right?
Okay.
We got some simple work we need to do. We're not talking about the government, your 501c3, my plantation, or your slave master. We're saying all of you pastors have a building, have some resources, and if you don't, how can we strategically in the city, if you got shuttle buses, if you got older folks, how can we identify the need and get the need addressed and start hiring and creating jobs for some of these young people collectively? I think that should be a charge. If we can get Brother Jaleel, Brother Aldrich, how can we formulate, just as you wanted to put together at McCree Theater, we need to put together a panel discussion around nigger rigging. Woo.
We do. I know you hate that word. However, it's so relatable to people. They understand it when you say it. They know exactly where you're coming from. They know exactly what you mean. And that's another thing that's where I'm talking about. We got to do it simple. We can't make it too big. We got to make it simple. We got to meet them where they are, Brother Robert. We got to meet them where they are.
I like that.
I'm going to put it on a
I
t-shirt
like
for you. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt for you. What size you wear?
Okay, well, before we close out, do you want to say some last parting words?
Well, you all know that. First, I want to say, Brother Roberts, I love you. I appreciate you. You always seem to bring out the best in me, and I like that. You bring out the best in me. You always stir it up, and I love it. I appreciate you so much. I always get to go to another place when I'm with you, so I appreciate you so much. And you know I love you. Anything you ever need, you know, all you got to do is reach out, and I'm here, right?
Right.
The other thing I want to say to everybody else, the same goes to you. If there's anything that I can do to help you, please reach out to me. And if I don't have the resource or I don't know it, I'll find it for you. I do my homework. Brother Roberts can tell you, I won't leave you hanging. I'll figure it out. I'll find it. I'll nigga rig it if I got to. I'll figure it out.
I like that.
I just want to remind you all to make sure that you are eating healthy, drink your water, make sure that you are getting out in nature, breathe in some of that good prana. You got to get it. You got to go out there and be in nature. Hug a tree, like Brother Robert says. Do some grounding. Sit outside and don't sit in a chair. Sit in the grass. Take your shoes off. Put your hands in it. Just just feel in nature. Just feel Mother Earth, and just let her come into you and you out to her. It's going to be great. I'm telling you, you got to do it. You're going to feel amazing when you do it. Go sit next to some water and listen to it and breathe that in and get it's so cleansing for your soul. Do that. Make sure that you are loving on you, because what's better than you? Absolutely nothing. Nothing is better than you. So make sure you love on you so that you are able to love on somebody else. Always remember that we have to take care of each other, and community means everything. So we have to make sure that we are building our community, and we are building our community with each other. We don't need outside help. We just need each other. And with each other, we can go to infinity and beyond.
I love it. And I too will just close out by saying, again, sister, I love you immensely. And thank you for being a part of my life as we continue to be on this journey together along with others. I do want to reach out to our collective community, those individuals that's doing the work in the community. I commend all of you guys. And again, I want everybody to realize, those that have been texting, nothing that we engage in is designed to hurt or destroy. We are really working on lifting one another up, but we must call each other out on our BS. The patient is on life support. We can't play no more. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what Fannie Lou Hamer said.
Yeah.
And Ella Baker, for her to be molested and raped and vilified as a black woman, and then for Louis Henry Gates to be arrested on his front porch. When you think about the atrocity for 500 years that we continue to witness and experience in the name of white Jesus and white capitalism, it's appalling that you guys are watching the playoff. I think it's appalling that those black and brown boys, and they are boys, playing basketball. It's appalling that you guys are having basketball parties. Because while we playing ball, they're cutting off our balls. We don't own no teams. We don't own no stadiums. We don't own no real car dealerships. We don't really own our own homes. Even our homes, we paying a mortgage. And at any time, they can come and take your home that's $1 million, $30,000, or however you want to define it. If they want it, they gonna come get it. What you gonna do? And see, that's what I want us to really recognize, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a collective warfare. And we got to stop playing at the strip club, speeding up and down the street in these cars like we are some idiots.
Yeah.
Sitting around just smoking ganja. We ain't got nothing better to do. And how in the world we let the war on drugs, now all these white people and all these other people from other countries own all these dispensaries. All these people and people are still locked up for marijuana charges.
Right.
So I just want to thank you guys. Please remember the fishing trip. Please spread the news about this sacrifice that our group is making to provide where no one can have any excuse to attend and to have a joyous and wonderful celebration of life, because that's what we want to be about, is celebrating life. I thank all you guys. I thank our technician, Brother Mick, for all his hard work. I thank you guys for not giving up on me. It's been some struggles for me. So again, you guys just don't know how much you guys encourage me to not go and do some things that I dream about doing. So Wakanda out.
Brother Roberts, don't hang up. Don't hang up.
Okay.
Don't hang up. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.